Okay, now it's recording, so you don't turn on your video. And okay, a force is a push or pull. So you should write the answer, push or pull. A force cannot be seen, but its effects, okay, its effects can be felt. Okay, next. Okay, next. Continue, next question. Okay, 6 effect of force. A force can cause a stationary object to start moving. Okay. Forces can cause a moving object to stop, or we can say slow down. Slow down. Forces can change the speed of a moving object, change the direction. Okay. Forces can prevent an object from moving, like you apply a brake. And finally, forces can change the shape of an object. So these are the 6 effects of forces. Do take note. Okay, change the speed, change the direction. Okay, state the difference between weight and mass. Okay, for those students who have my book, right, if you turn to page 27, which I'm going to do a screen share here, there are actually 2 differences between weight and mass, if you can see here. So I prefer you to write this one. Okay, the weight is the amount of gravitational force acting on an object, but mass is the amount of matter in an object. Okay, for mass, you should have learned in primary 4. So you please kindly memorize this, the difference between weight and mass. Okay, when you talk about mass, it's the amount of matter. Weight is the amount of gravitational force acting on an object. So that's the answer for this part here. Okay, name the type of contact forces and non-contact. Contact means they need to touch each other. So very simple, we have frictional force. We have elastic spring force. Elastic spring. And non-contact is gravitational and magnetic. So just remember there are 2 contact and 2 non-contact forces. Okay, they see number 6, state one advantage. So you have to indicate advantage is, okay, there are many examples of advantages of friction. So you can say prevent cars from skidding. Okay, okay, allow us to hold on to objects. Okay, these are the advantages of friction. So disadvantage. Okay, disadvantage. Actually, you can state the common one is causes wear and tear. Causes wear and tear. Okay, produce unnecessary heat. Produces unnecessary heat. Okay, these are disadvantage of frictional force. So once again, advantage, prevent car from skidding or allow us to hold on to objects. Disadvantage, causes wear and tear and produces unnecessary heat. Okay, next one is a closed passage. This is a science closed passage. Okay, in the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. Perhaps that was the greatest and most significant force in the whole universe. On day 4 of God's creation, the planets in solar system were made. So without the gravitational force, because as you know, in the solar system, right, the sun is in the solar system in the center. So the gravitational force of the sun actually holds the planets all over the solar system. So without the gravitational force, right, the planets and the moons will be flying all over in outer space. The bigger the mass of a planet, the greater is the gravitational force. We also call gravity. Okay, next, weight is a measure of the amount of gravitational force on the pull of an object, whereas mass is the amount of matter in an object. Therefore, the weight of an object varies from planet or moons to planets. Generally, your weight is your weight on the Earth, which you can see on most night, right? The moon, your weight on the Earth's moon, right, is about 1/6. So you take note of this. Some school teach the student is 1/6. That's 1 divided by 6. Because weight is measured in Newton. So example, if your weight on Earth is 600 Newtons, your weight on moon will be only 100 divided by 6, right? And the biggest planet is called the Jupiter. Okay? The largest planet, your weight will be 2.36 times because that gravity on Jupiter is 2.36 times of the Earth. Okay, space vehicle means space vehicle, you know, right? Yeah. So they can travel at more than 40,000 kilometers per hour in outer space. The typo here, this one is in outer space, because there is practically no air in outer space. Therefore, there's no frictional force. Okay, during space travel. In the movie Top Gun, how many of you have watched the Top Gun movie? Maverick is the person being acted by Tom Cruise. Okay, so someone has seen, nobody has seen. Okay, never mind. Later I show some movie clip. Okay, this Top Gun actually in the movie, he is actually flying this prototype aeroplane called a Dark Star. Okay, it's trying to reach the speed of Mach 10. Okay, this word Mach is a measurement of the relative speed compared to the speed of sound. 10 times the speed of sound. Okay, its speed is being slowed down by the layer of air around the body of Dark Star, creating great frictional force. Okay, it's so great that it will increase the temperature of the body of the spacecraft or aircraft to more than 800 degrees Celsius. This shows that friction opposes motion. Okay? Friction means go against. Friction opposes motion and produces heat. Okay, so think of this part. Friction opposes motion and produces heat. So you give me 1 minute, I'll prepare this screen to show you. Okay, meanwhile, I try to finish up this part and check your answers here. Let me save this as a different file. This one is the answer key. Answer key for your Zoom learning today, which I will save as this file here. Okay, so you look through the answers here. Okay, Anna is coming in. So now I prepared the video. Okay, I'm going to screen share to explain this part about this part. Okay, in the movie Top Gun, okay, Maverick is the actor being acted by Tom Cruise. He's flying this experimental plane. They are actually testing it to see whether it can reach 10 times the speed of sound. Because as you know, if you fly at high speed, right, the air around the aeroplane will create tremendous frictional force that will produce a lot of heat to heat up the plane. Okay, so this part, those who have joined us, just sit back and relax to understand how frictional force can produce tremendous heat at supersonic speed, or in this case, hypersonic speed.
One last ride.
Dark Star is taking off. Look at this part. Okay, this section, as you can see here, this part is like glowing in red because it's cutting through the air at high speed. So the air is actually rubbing against the surface of the plane at the edge. So this part, they create tremendous frictional force and will increase the temperature on the surface of the plane. Let's continue. 9.8. So that means it's 9.8 times the speed of sound, which is about 10,000 kilometers per hour. Okay, look at this part. This part is producing tremendous heat. Okay, so this part, frictional force is rubbing against the plane at high speed. Okay, he reached 10. So he actually completed the mission on this testing the plane. So coming back to the question here. So this is the answer for this part, the dark star. So next, the compass on Earth always points in the north-south direction. Okay, that is magnetic force. So north-south. Okay, north-south direction. Due to the strong magnetic force created by the Earth, a powerful magnet which can attract a spring made of magnetic material can increase the extension of the spring. The longer the extension, the greater is the elastic spring force. Okay. Next, lubricant. Okay, this one is not water, it's wheels. And rollers can be used to reduce frictional force. Okay, reduce frictional force. Okay, so you take note of this. So I've gone through this part in a closed passage, science closed passage. So take down the answer for this one. Okay. For those who have just joined us, do take note of the questions I've gone through here. This part, contact forces, they are frictional and elastic spring force. Okay. Non-contact, gravitational and magnetic force. Okay. Why they are called non-contact? Because they do not need to touch each other's surface. Okay. And then the advantage and disadvantage of friction. Okay, this part, difference between weight and height, as I told you, is on the page 27 of my book, on the number 26, this part. So you state this part. Okay, the weight is the amount of gravitational force acting on an object, but mass is the amount of matter in an object. So the 6 effect of forces here. Okay, so this is the concept review for PSLE student this year. So keep calm, may the force be with you.